Coffee is magical. It's a life, something that you're growing. When I first started with coffee, it was interesting to see how many times a bean was touched by hand. I think we lose sight of it. It's not like once, it's not twice, it's multiple times from the farming side all the way to the barista.
So you didn't grow up going to the farms and you weren't planning on becoming a coffee producer?
No, I hadn't been back to El Salvador in like 5 years and then decided to come back just to visit. And then my father finally took me up to the farms and I don't know, I was geeking out in that aspect of it. They're just so awesome.
They're beautiful, yeah.
They're beautiful and I was just like, I'm moving back. I'm gonna try this. Obviously not knowing what I was getting myself into.
We're drinking Finca Kilimanjaro, grown by Aida Batlle, roasted by Counterculture Coffee. El Salvador is Bourbon country. You grow Kenya on Kilimanjaro, yes?
Yes, there's a Kenya variety on there. The family who owned it before we did had brought it over.
That coffee to me has a really different profile from Bourbon, where Bourbon is like a little sweeter. The Kenya variety has a lot more acidity. That citrus, that cherry that you don't find in a lot of El Salvadorian coffees.
Yeah, people have always said, like you said, it doesn't taste like a Central.
Yeah.
Where the farms are located around the Santa Ana volcano has always been known as El Cinturón de Oro, the Golden Belt. The climate is perfect, there's hardly any wind, the volcanic soil. I mean, it's just a really special coffee.
So what exactly happens on your farm and what happens down here at the mill?
The pickers are out there, they're at the farms at 6:30, 7 o'clock. They're picking all the way through lunch, stop, pick again, and then sort. You know, I've been lucky enough to have some of the same people when I started managing the farms that are still there. I mean, without them, we're nothing. And they taught me, just like you say, I obsess with baristas, I obsess with farm workers. They're the ones that first touch the coffee.
So they do some sorting at the farm and then it is brought down here to J Hill to get processed.
Correct. So then it goes into the mini mill. And it depends what processing method the customer wants, how they want it fermented, how they want it dried.
Which is really different. Like you don't have those kind of menu options as a buyer pretty much anywhere else.
There's so many people involved. You know, if I owned a vineyard, I would process everything, cork the wine, and guarantee the product. But with coffee, it's the producer, the wet mill, the dry mill, the exporter, the importer, the buyer, the roaster, and then finally with the barista. Coffee's just so great in that regard.
So when you make coffee with baristas, you know how geeky we get. We have scales everywhere. We're constantly measuring the amount of coffee that we're using, the amount of water that we're using. We've got timers. Do you get that geeky at home?
I have all that equipment, yes, but no, I don't.
So I have brought you a gift today. It's the KitchenAid Precision Press, and the way that this works is that there's a built-in scale and timer, so you can weigh out your coffee before you're using it, and then you tare the scale and you weigh the water as you're pouring it in. You can set a timer so that you are monitoring how much time the coffee and the water are steeping together before you press the grounds down to the bottom, which really does kind of arrest the steeping process. And then you can enjoy this incredible full immersion brewing method. KitchenAid has put all of the things that you need into one fantastic brewer.
This is perfect. Now I will be weighing my grounds.
Well, thank you so much for, as always, providing me with a great experience in El Salvador.
It was a pleasure to have you as always, and thank you for my new toy.